The following content has been provided by RWTH Aachen University.
Related to our limit in working memory is the fact that we also can parse certain decision structures well or not. So this is again about how we move through making a decision given knowledge in the world that we apply and combine with knowledge in the head. Give you an example. You walk into an ice cream parlor in the US and there's like a board behind the counter that has 57 flavors of ice cream that you can pick from. Okay? So that's a very broad decision tree if you like, but it's also very shallow. You only need to make one decision. So you look at this thing, I want that one, right? And then the guy goes off and makes your ice cream. So that's okay. It's broad, but it's shallow. The other version is something very narrow. For example, you have a cookbook, a recipe. Now, there's lots of steps you need to go through, and in each step you might have to make a decision or might have to follow specific instructions, but each step is very simple, right? So it also doesn't require hard thinking, deep thinking. It just takes longer, more steps, but each of those steps is easy. Motorway exits are carefully designed. The signage on motorways is a prime example of usability at work. You will notice that as you approach an exit, first of all, you get the sign that explains all kinds of things, what's where. But then as you get to the exit, there will only be, in the end, the sign, exit or not. Right? Because at that time, you shouldn't think about, is this the right exit to take anymore? Because if that's what you're still thinking about, it would be unsafe to make the turn and exit. Right? You just, OK, this is where you get off if you've decided to do that. So these things also help you to break down these decisions in small steps. When it gets hard is when these decision trees, these information knowledge decision trees, get wide and deep. For example, in games like chess, we all know that chess just explodes from a combinatorial point of view in the amount of options that players have. And that's good because it's a game that is designed to occupy the mind, of course, right? We want it to be that way. But the point is, your application that you're designing shouldn't be designed to occupy the mind like a game of chess, right? It should make things very easy so that people can get to the actual task that they want to perform with your application, with your interface. The two forms of thinking also apply here. If you take the subconscious thought, which is what we decide sort of intuitively, that's very effortless. We don't need to strain ourselves to apply subconscious thinking. It's associative, it's pattern matching. Whereas this conscious thinking, which we need to apply when we move through a decision structure like the ice cream parlor menu, that is slow and serial and very demanding. There was once an example that said, like, I can walk down the street, that's walking, that happens on autopilot. I don't need to think about the fact that I'm walking. I can eat a bag of peanuts at the same time, and that's still fine. I can also solve a math problem in my head at the same time. I can do all these three things. But if then somebody comes up and asks me something else, then I won't be able to process that math problem anymore, right? That's conscious thinking. The other things were happening sort of on autopilot, subconscious. OK, so that was the section about knowledge. What kinds of knowledge are there? Procedural, declarative. Where is it stored in the world, in the head? And what does that mean for design?
This content was provided by RWTH Aachen University.